You mentioned that glimpses, to qualify glimpses, you were speaking about Satori.
So, glimpses, yeah.
Would you say that animals have glimpses?
Oh no, animals aren't, no, there isn't anything that is capable of abstracting the sense of having a separate identity except the human brain. Human brain is the only brain that's sophisticated enough to abstract the sense and energy of there being a separate individual. Nothing else does. So dogs and cats aren't separate. If they were, they would start their own religion.
But it means so. Animals do not have this energetic sense of separation.
No, there's no sense of having a separate identity or being separate. There is only beingness.
So would you say that they are more happy than...
Oh no, being liberated is nothing to do with happiness. I'm really sorry about that.
Coming back to glimpse and Satori, what about samadhi?
Well, I don't know what that is. The only actually Sanskrit word I know and really know is Advaita.
Okay.
So what is samadhi?
When you read about, between brackets, these big sayings like Ramaharshi or Ma, when they are said, when they are reported to, let's say, melt into a sort of a deep meditation with eyes above and losing contact. What would you say about this?
That's a story. It's a circus. That's a story. It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about here at all.
Nothing to do. It's not. It cannot be considered as a long glimpse. As a long glimpse.
Long what? About that long?
No, but the time of the samadhi. So you're really
all that stuff is all. This is, you know, what we're talking about here is something very simple and ordinary. It's not strange and mysterious about abstract notions and about long samadhis and all that. That's all a product of the mind, which is about a story. This is not about a story. There is or there isn't.
Tony, could we say just in simple terms, a little bit philosophic, that what the seeker is looking for is absolute synchron?
It's absolute
synchron.
Synchron. Parallel.
Synchronicity.
Yes.
Well, what the seeker is looking for is all sorts of things, but because the seeker doesn't comprehend the idea of wholeness. He doesn't know what that means. So it's looking for permanent happiness or personal enlightenment or whatever you like, but it hasn't any idea of what those things are. What is sought, finally, is wholeness. But the seeker has no idea what wholeness is. And how can it have when wholeness is unknowable?
Yes,
but I've interrupted your question.
Yes, I try to do it again. The seeker wants to find someone and it's always later.
Yeah, always later.
It's always later.
Next.
Yes, next. And perhaps it's synchron, and that's the reason he cannot find it.
I don't know what the word means. Synchron.
Synchron.
It's on the move all the time. It's in the seeker is only in the finite reality, which is artificial. It's in the finite reality. It only exists. It can only have its existence within the finite known reality, which is a myth. So it can't know the infinite. I don't know whether that helps or whether that's what you're getting at. It's always on the move for something that's completely still.
I tried to ask whether the synchrone is the infinite.
Well,
Synchrone means at the same time, happening at the same time, as you said.
Synchrone.
Well, the infinite doesn't happen at the same time. The infinite simply is the infinite. It's indescribable.
I just remember the funny story when we talked about samadhi, that I read somewhere that was some great yogi and came to some king, and the king promised him that if he can be some 80 years in samadhi and eat nothing and do nothing else, he will give him one of his best horses. So the yogi entered into the samadhi, and it was like 100 years and 120 years, and he just sitting and didn't do anything, and the king died at that time, and his son was ruined, and then he woke up from that and said, well, where's my horse?
That's good, I like that.
Tony, could you say a little bit more about energy? Are there different energy? Has joy a different, and fear and...
Oh, well, the use here of the word energy is a replacement of the word wholeness or oneness. Because for me those words are a bit spiritual. Well, energy has a sort of impersonality about it. So the way I use energy is in the terms that energy is everything. Energy is nothing appearing to be everything. And I mean everything. So, and therefore energy can take any form. It can be a feeling or a thought or a sky or a tree or anything that's conceivable, is what energy is.
And then the energy is different when it takes a form as joy or fear?
Not really, it's just energy appearing as joy. And it can also be an energy appearing as seeking. And it can be an energy appearing as separation. It is everything.
Because you said, to this lady before me, you said the me energy.
Yeah.
The me energy.
Well, energy can appear as me.
As me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Energy appears as me.
But then it's different. It's a different energy, no?
Well, it's not. Well, it appears to be different. Me appears to be different to the carpet, but actually they're both the same thing. And I mean that.
Tony? I'm still wondering, I'm still wondering what your message, which I think that I understood it, means for my daily life.
Or nothing. Your daily life is completely useless.
Yes, that's clear, but nevertheless, I have to do my I have to do my work at the desk.
Well, no, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, I do.
But doing things
I love
happen.
it. I love it. So I love my work, but it's difficult, and I need my brain.
Yeah.
I can't be
well,
conscious.
the brain doing a job is what happens. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen, but there is nothing that can make it happen or not make it happen. It's just what happens.
Okay.
But there's no way in which this message would help you do your job or not.
Sorry, I can't help ask the question. Essentially, every individual wants to be happy, I think.
I've heard that.
You tried that. But no one is. At least not permanently.
Well, maybe.
Maybe? What?
Well, there might be some happy individuals around, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but the me wants to be happy.
The me wants to be happy. It doesn't want to be sad or cold or in fear or in pain or suffering in any way. So it kind of feels stupid or cruel that it isn't that way. Everybody wants to be happy, nobody is.
I know, it is cruel.
It's cruel.
Oh, cruel. I thought you said cruel. I think it's cool.
I think it's cruel.
It's unconditional love.
Oh yes, I forgot.
It is. You know, people want to make their lives work. They never will make their lives work because they're not meant to work. A person that's trying to make their life work is going to face utter futility and hopelessness in the end, because that life is a myth. The idea of that life working is trying to make a myth work. So when it doesn't work, it can suddenly, the whole idea of trying to make it work can suddenly collapse. Unconditional love is constant, in a way you could say, although it sounds as though there's an intention there, but the nature of unconditional love is to invite that which wants to make its life work, to see that there is no one that can do that, and life is just life. There's no one in it.
What about unconditional love makes the life so good nobody wants to change it? That would be another proposal.
Sweetheart, that's a good idea. I'll give it a ring.
Yeah. Please do so. Thank you.
After what you call your awakening, when the me came out on the other side, didn't you find it sometimes hard to recreate meaning or charge things with meaning or put effort into conversations? Or
No, it is, because in a way you're in two worlds. You've left the old world where there's hope and motivation, and you haven't entered, you haven't died, and there isn't everything. So in that middle world, the whole idea of motivation and hope sort of doesn't have any great energy. Yeah.
So although daily life and work continues like before, it lacks a lot of motivation to charge things with meanings or to do what people expect. And
I didn't care very much about what people expected. Already that sort of thing had dropped away, but...
And the idea of your own meaning ceased.
Oh no, I think I'd already recognised, even though in awakening, that my life had no meaning. And that I had no value, there wasn't... In a sense here, there was already a recognition that what I longed for was beyond me. So there wasn't an idea that I should be this way or that way in that sense. I think the only thing that stayed here as something that I should live with and achieve is living in the moment. But also, I think also I had some idea about enlightenment being something that could also happen here. So there was that sort of seeking energy. But certainly the whole idea of motivation and hope can collapse in that way, and often does.
And trying to recreate this can be, in a way, tiring or... Just just hopeless, you know. It's the realization that there is no hope or sense or whatsoever, and so there is no need to just...
No, but the only thing about after awakening is that there's still a me there, even though it's less apparent. It still can be there, and all the time there's a me there. There is something in it that hopes for something better. Already the idea of hope sort of is devalued, but nevertheless, me will always hope, subtly hope, that something's going to be better or that it could become in line.
Has there to be glimpses in awakening?
No, not at all. It doesn't have to be awakening. There are a number of people I know who've never had an awakening and they're not there anymore, if you know what I mean. There's nothing that's needed. And awakening, again, is only an appearance. It's only energy appearing to be an awakening.
There were several people talking about the energy in this room, what was happening, and it just happened so fast that this I or me comes back and tells, okay, this maybe is gonna last for 10 more minutes because then it's 6 o'clock, and so what can I do to get it back or to last it longer or something, and yeah, I just find it amazing that this mind or me really hard tries to make something out of it and to make a new concept or whatever.
Yeah. But it's always doing that. It's always turning everything into something that it can grasp or have or make to last longer or something. It's always greedy. Me is constantly greedy. And it always, that's why it owns everything. It takes ownership of everything. It's the rich man. It's more difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And the me is the rich man or woman. Yeah. And also what runs alongside that is the idea that energy is only here. Actually, it's everything. Wherever you go tonight, that is what there is. What is constantly there. You can't escape from this. You can't escape from what is.
Yeah, but this is like, it's noticeable, and then it's like, it's something always, oh, is it still there? Is it still there? Like watching every minute. Like when I go out, and like yesterday I walked around, I could really just see everything as it was, but there was always this question, is it here? Am I still here?
And one day there won't be.
Yeah.
It's a questioning because it's so unfamiliar, what we're talking about here, the wonder of being is so unfamiliar, you know, that something's always not trusting it or questioning it until suddenly it doesn't. It just evaporates.
I have a question, Tony. It goes in the same direction like that lady. When the motivation to do something drops off, how was it in your case,
I mean, going around everywhere to have this meetings.
Oh, it doesn't need any motivation to do this. It just is what
it happens.
The whole motivation is very linked into the me that wants to be successful. Let's say in simple terms, the me wants to be successful so that it can be loved. It's constantly sucking in what it can to comfort itself for losing everything. That's what the activity of most people in the world is. It's a gathering in of comfort for the loss of everything. So the motivation can be huge or not. You know. But directly there is only everything. There's obviously nothing to be motivated about anymore. So all that's left is what is apparently happening, including coming to Berlin.
Yeah, in my case is what I already told before, year before. There is, it just dropped away, and I'm looking for. Sometimes I'm looking for some reasonable thing to do, and maybe something catches my attention for a moment, for a day, and I think, yes, I can do this, but then it's gone off, it's away. So yeah, sometimes I think, well, I'm really, I don't know, just hanging around, and there must be a kind of motivation.
Yeah, there is a motivation that doesn't last long in your case.
Yes. So it was, yeah, it's just, I mean, I was successful in my teachings,
yeah.
But there is no motivation anymore to do this.
No. There's no. Well, there is a bit, it sounds.
Yes, maybe.
So there's a bit of a me there still,
yes.
Making nervous gestures. Thank you.